So if I'm going to do the interval, of course I'll have to change the name to 1 prop z interval. I love using my French accent. I need a beret. So this part is going to change. The hypotheses don't change. And on the conditions, now I'm using, for interval, I'm using p hat. It's a hat party. Everywhere there's a generic p, and if you look on your formula sheet, you'll notice that in the box for standard deviation for proportions, it has a generic p. No popo, no p hat. It is a generic p. And so you have to know for z test, you use popo. For z interval, you use p hat. And same thing on the normality checks. So now I'll be doing n times p hat because I'm doing z interval, and n times 1 minus p hat to do the normality check. So I had 39 for my n, and p hat was 0.667. Whoops. Greater than or equal to 10. It does make it. That's what, 2/3, it's 26. It's the second one, the smaller one, that is pretty close. Curve. So I need 39 times a third, which is 13, so it just makes the cut. And then when I build z interval, so keep in mind that I will have p hat plus or minus z star, and then the square root of, remember I'm using p hats because I'm doing z interval on the inside. And so my p hat value was 0.667. So now z star. So this time, remember I'm a one-sided alternative. So all of that significance zone, my reject zone, is all on one side. So there it is, 0.05. And I just have to remember that even though I don't shade it, it is sitting over here, an equivalent 0.05, which means my confidence level is 90%. So z star for 90 is 1.645. And then inside, again, I'm using p hat. And so therefore my interval is 0.543 to 0.791. And then I'm checking to see where my hoe at. In my hoe inside? So I check to see, is my hoe inside? The answer is no. So I must reject. And hey, look at that. I got the same answer that I got from doing z-test as when I got the z-interval. And of course, your couple of sentences will be the same as it was before about how you must reject at alpha equals 0.05 since your null hypothesis is not inside, and therefore conclude that Shaquille O'Neal has not significantly improved his free throw shooting. Okay, so that's it. Tomorrow we're going to go back and do the notes on type 1, type 2 errors, but for the rest of the period you are working on 9.2 exercises. I gave you a few problems at the beginning of that. I will see you tomorrow.